Hello, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's well. Week's gone well. Stay dry. Ground conditions you see behind me. Yeah, we won't get much better than this for the, what's it now? And third week of January. These are some heavy fields. This is the one I showed you John ploughing in Wednesday's video, I think. Yeah, it's cracking. Absolutely brilliant. So we're making really good progress. This is actually an organic field. This is our first outdoor organic Jersey rules. So I might show you a bit of that. Also, we'll flip back and show you yesterday's planting, which we were doing the sunflower field. That's where our sunflower event takes place. We might just talk a bit about how all the GPS works. So we're running the RTK John Deere system, and that helps us. Now we're in the bigger fields, we can use the power harrow, and we open up the ridges using the banking frame on the back, which it does all our kind of mechanics and fabrication built and put it onto the back of the power harrow, as you can see there. So very simple thing, but it just saves us having to use the crawler, and it saves basically a driver. So we can get into the bigger fields like this. This is about 5 acres. And we can just use it. So you can see here, these are all the tracks. Track spacing is at, you can see there, a bit bumpy, sorry, is at 3 meters. So each line you see there is 3 meters apart, and the tractor then drives automatically, basically up and down for me. So I've programmed that line in. You can actually create that line, made that line straight, and it's just going to drive up and down for me. And then it should also, we're power harrowing twice. That's just to take out, make the ground a bit smoother, make it a bit easier when we come to harvest. If we can, and it also does a better job with the GPS, it's going straight into ploughed ground, opening up the ridges. You get a few wonks and wiggles if you go straight with the bankers. I can really show you. I put that down now. It just never seems to be quite as straight. It just, as the tractor rocks over the ploughed ground, you get a few little wiggles. It's nothing major, but it just does a nicer job. And it also, it helps when we come to harvest. If we power harrow it twice, it always does a better job. So where we can, if the ground conditions are good enough, we'll power harrow it twice. So that's what I tend to do. We go up one time now, and then when we come back down, we'll open up the ridges. I say these will be planted with organic seed. And you'll see now at the end, I just tap the steering wheel. It knocks out of auto steer, and then if I spin around, I push this little button here, and it's now going to steer the wheels back in for me. And away we go. And the little number there, that's saying 2 or 1, it's now at 0. That is how accurate it's being. So it's supposed to be on the white line, the tractor, and currently it's 1 or 0 centimeters out. And the ridges there, beautiful and straight. So yeah, great bit of technology, and it really helps us, and it's made our way of planting our potatoes a lot more efficient. So we'll talk a bit more about that later on. Hello, so we are here and we are in our field that has our sunflower maize. So we're out back in planting some bigger fields. This one behind us you'll see is about 20 verges, which is about 10 acres in UK size. We've now finished all the smaller fields that you saw us planting last week. That might have been Wednesday or Sunday's video. And we're now in the bigger fields. We're now using the power harrow and the GPS for opening up the ridges. So I'll show you some of that today. But this is for anyone in Jersey who comes to our sunflower maize. Usually this is our sunflower field. So it doesn't start off as it's not in a different crop, the same crop the whole time. We put our Jersey rules in it. The Jersey rules are being planted today. They'll be harvested at the end of April. And then we'll then sow our sunflowers, make our maize, and make it all look really cool for you to enjoy in the summer. And so for those who don't know, always find it a bit tricky. You never know how in detail or basic to go, but people who don't know, sorry if you're a farmer and do understand, but the power harrow basically This is the power harrow, Brevileri machine, Italian make. Why we like this Brevileri rather than other makes of or other brands of power harrows is the amount of rotors it's got. So that's what a power harrow is. It's got a set of these rotors that spin around. They spin around like that and they break the soil down. So they take it from ploughed ground, like you see there, and they make it smoother. They break up all the clods. And yeah, why we like the Brevileri is it's got more rotors per metre than other brands. So it does quite a nice job of making it the ground smooth. And this is the frame at the back. These are the bankers. They go up and down on this ram. As you just seen in the video before or after, I can lower and raise them. And we can also adjust the depth here on how far up and down and how big the hole is. You'll see today in this field, unlike the one we're in the other field, you'll see these ridges are much deeper. That's because our seed size, you'll see on there, is much bigger today. These are number 3s. Yesterday we were planting number 1s, so that's what we can alter. But those roads basically spin around, driven by the PTO on the back of the tractor, and that's basically a shaft that connects to it, puts power into the gearbox, and the gearbox makes all the rotors turn around. So that's just a bit about what the power harrow is. So you'll see now we're in a much bigger field. You've just seen me opening up all the ridges, and that's using the 145 as you've seen just before. Now you can see all the ridges are open. This track here, we measure out, and that's the beauty of having a GPS. We know exactly there will be 4 rows in this track once we've put all the potatoes out. And that's what we've done. All of the boxes are laid out. We're about 15 paces apart today, and they're all laid out up the field. The guys then come along and they plant each box. And where it's brilliant is it saves us a lot of time. All the potatoes are out. We can then come now with a subsoiler or subsoil and rip the track up, because we want to get rid of the compaction. Where the trailers are driven, there's quite a bit of compaction. So we can use a subsoiler, pass that first, then I'll power harrow it, and we'll open up the last 4 ridges, and they'll be then filled in with the boxes we've got left there. So it works really well having the GPS. The crawler, the track crawler you saw previous videos, we could never do this because we were doing it by eye and we couldn't work out exactly where the tracks were. So this system works really well for us, and now we're in the bigger fields, we'll carry on with this system for the rest of the season.
So you'll now see us, and we're putting out all of the seed potatoes in the boxes, and that's what we do. We drive along this track and we put 20 down to the left and 20 to the right, and then once that's done, we then do the next track and basically work our way down the field as I open up the ridges on the power harrow.
this is then the subsoiler, which we'll use to basically take up the compaction from the tracks with the trailers just driven. So you can see we've driven up here with the tractor and trailer, and then now before I open up these 4 rows, we just whiz down with the 3-leg subsoiler. As I say, it's just taken out the compaction that is there from the trailer, because if we did not do this beneath those trailer tyres, there is going to be compaction, and the potatoes won't grow as well. And the potatoes won't be able to put their roots down. So this is just a very simple way of relieving it. Shortly, hopefully next week, we will have the front linkage subsoiler ready on the new tractor. So my new tractor I power harrow with, Will's just making the subsoiler that'll go on the front to actually save this job. I'll better just do it myself. With the tractor so that should help a lot, but that's just showing you what we do to relieve the tracks. So I'll now come along and power harrow that and then open up the ridges. So what's also quite cool about this field, as you can see, it overlooks Gorey Castle, and we've been farming this field for a very long time. I think, how long, Dad?
Yeah, our family's been farming this field since 1921, and what's quite cool, we've got a picture of two of my great-great-grandfathers ploughing this field with a horse with Gorey Castle in the background, and we recreated that about 2 years ago with my brother Peter and the amazing thing is, when they were ploughing with horses, there was 19 people involved in ploughing the field, and we do it with one person in probably 3 or 4 times as quick. So it's quite amazing how things have changed.
So yeah, so it's really cool history, and I say that's why we picked this for our sunflower field, because it's got such nice views of Grooville Bay, and fingers crossed, when it comes to the summertime, we're actually going to try and make it even better this year. We're going to try and put some flowers, also try and put some other wildflower areas and some cut flowers. And that's the beauty. By us planting this field now in January, it gives us a lot more time, because we're going to be harvesting this in April rather than harvesting it in kind of June last year in 2024. Fingers crossed, it gives us a lot more time to prepare it and make it a lot better event for the public to enjoy.
So this is then the final part of the field. You can see now it's being closed over. We're putting the ground back over the seed potatoes. Here's Pavel doing a cracking job, keeping nice and straight. I've got it easy in the power harrow. I've got the GPS, but he's actually got to drive by skill, and he's doing a great job. There is then one more part, but I said I'll talk about this in this Sunday's video, but we just didn't get time. It's been very busy planting and I haven't been able to get the footage. But there is then the covering of the polythene, which you can probably see a few sheets of being laid out. That'll hopefully be Wednesday's video.
This is then how the ends are finished. I'll turn my radio off. So you'll see we planted now all the main field, and this is now doing the headland runs, and we've measured out when we're planting, we mark where we finished planting the end of the long straight work, and then we get left with, and we put 15 rows for the headlands. That just gives us enough space for us to, when we're harvesting, we can come up to the ends, turn around, turn the harvester around, or we can just turn the sprayer or whatever we're driving, give us room. So that's how we do it. We've done all down the main field, and we're just finishing up doing this top headland. These trays go on the trailer, down around my finger, and then we'll go and finish off. We've got the bottom section and that bottom headland over there. So
That's why we mark out when we're putting the boxes where we start. That is so we can know where we stop. So thank you for watching. I hope you found today's video interesting now that we're in proper size fields, as you call them in the UK. But yeah, this is how we're going to continue planting our potatoes for the rest of the season. So we'll see you all on Wednesday for our next video.